I don't know that if I want to put myself on a red tag, being 50% off, because there are new faces here too. If you have been here for a while, then you know exactly what my intention is, and of course it's okay if what I'm saying you don't understand. It's okay, because of the subject I'm talking about is it's not easy to grasp, rather kind of abstract. So, so in that case, I'm not gonna put myself on sale. I label myself as a freelance Buddhist monk. I don't limit myself in only Buddhist teachings or so. So yesterday I listened to a Hindu monk, and he came across a beautiful phrase. I alternate the word a little bit, so it fits my talking. The consciousness in all beings, and all beings in the consciousness. Realizing this, free from I and mine, be thou happy. This is so beautiful. Sometimes Chris was asking the question, and I tried to explain it, and it's not easy to understand. So I see the frustration, but like I said, that if you keep doing it, one day the internal switch will switch on, and then the inside light will turn on. That case happens to everyone, so keep practicing, and it will come to you someday when all conditions are met. One who sees all beings in the consciousness, and the consciousness in all beings, such an enlightened one cannot hate. Last week we had a little bit discussion about the reality. And then we come across the actuality is that there's no reality at all. It's all empty, it's all nothing. And this is the primordial notion of Theravada traditions. But when we compare those two notions, the notion of oneness and the notion of emptiness, remember that these two notions have the quality of freedom, deliverance, but the quality of oneness brings compassion, brings love into it too. So this is what we are talking about today, that we try to have the oneness in everything. And when I say that I'm a freelance Buddhist practitioner, I don't limit myself into such. So, I remember I've read the New Testament. There was a line that they say, all things are from God, and through God, and to God. God is in all things, and all things are in God. This is what we are. This is who we are as of right now. And because of the unionness, the oneness of everything, so it doesn't get any better than this. All skillful means that we learn, has limitations. But as if we can understand this, then this is the very end. There is no deeper, no wider than what it is right now anymore. So, be patient now. We can put the oneness, we can divide oneness into two phrases. The one is that with the consciousness. Another one is that the oneness of all existence. Now, when I say consciousness, I mean the awareness, the knowing in which you are. You have the inherence of the awareness right now. As you are listening to me, you know that what is going on. That knowing is the consciousness. Another easy term to understand the consciousness is the knowing, the awareness, in which all of us share, the sameness. So that two parts. Everybody has that two parts. Now, as the beginner, we have some kind of the view of counterintuitive, because of the localization of each individual. That as you are sitting right there looking at me, you are individual sitting right there. The existence of you right there looking at me right here. So there is the separation. That is what, when we first practice the meditations. And as we go on, we practice, and then we find out, in ourselves, there is something else. There is an awareness, a consciousness, which knows what's going on. I'm going to use the metaphor of gold ornament. We all somehow, associated with gold. And gold, they come into many different forms. They can make a bracelet, a ring, or a necklace. But all those three things, the bracelet, the ring, or the necklace, they are in different form, but they all made of gold. So you don't say that the bracelet is different than the rings, and the ring different than the necklace. They all made of gold. And in that, you can see that you can substitute the word gold as an awareness, which knows everything, which knows that how the body functions, which knows that how the mind functions. So that is the awareness, and that is what we're getting into it, into the inquiry of the self, and when we realize that this entity is the composite of the part of knowing and the part of activities, that which made us as a human being, as a living being. When we realize that, then nothing can hold it back, hold us back. As we practice, a new dawn come into being a lot. A couple of days ago, somehow it came to me that I am not afraid of defilements anymore. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because I know myself for sure that one day, or however long it is, the defilement will go away. And so in that case, I don't worry about that. I don't have an expectation for it to go away. And it's a great feeling. I just ride along with that defilement. And there's no worry in it at all. That would be the case. For sure, it will go away because of the expectation that makes it, suffer. And when we realize that, it's a new dawn, it's a new insight. It's click on. I kept telling that to everybody, but a couple of days ago, that it's actually happened in me. That there is no expectation to whatever arises in us. We don't often aggrandize what the awareness is. All day long, we contact, we eat, we sleep, we fight, we do every kind of business in order to sustain this body. But we never realize, we never pay attention to the awareness. Because of the awareness is the primordial in everything. It's just like that. Just like saying, is existence first, then come to the experience, or the experience first, then comes with the existence. And of course, there has to be the existence first. Therefore, the awareness. Therefore, the experience. Just like that awareness serves as a foundation before the experience arises. So awareness pervades every which way. You look, in the front, you know that you look in the front. You turn to the side, you turn to the side. You listen to the sound, you know that you listen to the sound. You sensate the contact between your bottom and then your chair, and then you know that the hardness of it, and you know it. So awareness is everywhere. It covers it. It pervades everything. But at first, we don't know that. This example that I've taught before too, and Daniel was kind of puzzled on it about the water and the waves. This little story was so great that there was a small wave in many thousand waves in the oceans, and that was a happy small wave. It's riding along with waves, other waves, being happy. Look at the big, huge wave and with the admirations. Oh, you're so big and I'm so little. But when it looks down to the bubble and then says, hi, you're so small that you cannot become a wave yet. As it grows older, it becomes a real wave. And then it has enough height to look into the shore. And the wave wondered, oh, what is that? It's a shore. And I'm charging toward the shore. Oh, what's going to happen? Because if I'm charging toward the shore, I'm going to burst. And then I'm no longer a wave anymore. So I'm going to die? Is that the way that's going to be? So that wave gets distraught, gets sad. I'm approaching to the shore, closer, and I'm gonna die. On the way, coming to the shore, it came across a Buddhist wave who took the 5 precepts and then studied meditation. And that Buddhist wave was very smart. And he said, hey, man, don't worry. I can show you a way out. How? And then the Buddhist wave said, it's water. Oh, so water can save me? Yes, water can save you. But what is water? Where is water? How do I contact with the water? The wave asked. And the Buddhist wave advised him, oh, look deep inside of you to see that how you were made of. And by the good karma, this wave looked inside of himself, and he found out that he is water. You look, ahead, it's water. You look above, it's water. You look aside, you look back, you look below, it's all water. So I am not a wave, I am a water. So it doesn't matter if I charge up against this wall and burst my wave. The form is gone, but I'm back into the water. So I am no longer afraid of that anymore because I'm the water. I'm not the wave. This is who you are. You are the water. But because of the heavy karma, therefore you took up the form of wave as who you are right now. But actual who you are is the water. Remember that. And if that doesn't convince you yet, perhaps this will convince you more. We're gonna take it step by step. The first step is that you, the entity, this entity right now, which can feel, which can hear, talk, smell, taste, see, everything, this entity. That is the first step. The existence of this entity. But if we look a little bit deeper, we're going to see that this entity is no other than a heap of 5 aggregates. And the 5 elements. The fire, the water, the heat, the air, the space, and such and such. That was the term of religions many thousand years ago, but it still fits into the modern science that no matter that how you go, it all comes to matters. 108 elements in us, but it all matters. And the 5 great elements which the Buddha said and such, it is all about matters. So when we look into this entity, then it's a heap of 5 aggregates. It matters. That's it. But along with that, there appears the mind. And sometimes the mind can be described as the king of evils and such because of the cleverness as well as the capability of what it can do. We call Maya. And what is Maya? Another step. The activity of the Maya is just like the play within the consciousness, within the awareness. Can you see the two separations of the awareness and the play of awareness? The awareness gives rise of the play of the mind. So whatever mind is doing, the awareness knows exactly what's going on because of the mind is the product of the awareness. I guess you know Alan Watts. Okay, he has the story, beautiful story. At first, God was so powerful, and because of his God, so there's nothing that create him. Therefore, he exists only himself. Because of the existence only himself, so sometimes God get bored. He doesn't have anything to do, so he get bored. So he have a thought of create another thing, another friend for him to play with. So there are two gods. A God, which is himself, another God, which is the player, so they can be friends. But there is a price to pay for the cleverness. It's that the God that have the role of playing, he plays so well that he forgot he is God. And then he lost himself into the playing. He didn't know the way to turn back until he realized because of all the sufferings that gave him in the role of playing. And then he realized, I am originally God, and this is my second phase. This is my original phase. So by realizing that, he turns back to the origination and he's no longer suffering. The story is, I'm telling this is kind of like that. So, another step of going is that within the consciousness, within the awareness, there arise of the mind. The mind is the play in the consciousness because of that, the activities of the mind, the action of the mind, which moves, which creates, which do all kind of experiencing. Without the mind, you cannot experience it. So therefore, the union between those two, you cannot separate them. You cannot say that the mind is outside of consciousness and therefore that something happened, it jumps in the consciousness. No. Consciousness and the mind are one. Having seen that, we will see that the oneness between those two. And then we go further down that, without the mind, there's still consciousness, there's still awareness, there is still the knowing. Because of right now you can experience that your mind is in state of immobilized. You don't think, but you still know. Oh, so the awareness, the consciousness is what you are. So you can be proud of saying that I'm the awareness, I'm the consciousness. I rise from the consciousness, and all my activities is from the consciousness. So I'm no other than consciousness. And in that case, when one realizes that, one's going to be very happy. And I said before that this kind of perspective gives rise of compassion because of the awareness. There is only one awareness for everyone. Everyone is sharing one awareness. So awareness acts as a overall mother in which you are the son and the daughter of awareness. And right there that you can see, you can have the compassion that, oh, we all one. There is no separation between here and there anymore. We are all one. And right there is the point of compassion. Right there is the point of happiness. The notion of nothingness doesn't give rise to compassion if you look really carefully into it. Oh, it's nothing, and therefore it's still nothing. But here, the oneness which gives, the oneness which gives out everything, in that everything there is compassion within. And therefore, when one realizes that there is a compassion, it gave me a chill when I saw that, when I read to that point. And holy macaroni! Sometimes, you know, I share with you that I just want to hug you guys. So and there is no separation. So remember, you are the consciousness. The mind is just a secondary in which makes you into animated being. That's all. So remember that. And from there, compassion and happiness come. It feels so good to understand this. I don't claim myself as enlightened to that point, and so I have an opportunity, a great honor that a most venerable master gave me the book and asked me to translate the platform Sutra from the sixth patriarch. And the difference is that they say in old language, and this is the new language that try to explain it. That's it. They all the same meaning, even though that the Sutra was 1,000 years old, and it was still the same. So I'm very confident to say that you are awareness. You are oneness because of the two parts, the awareness and the mind. That's it. So enjoy the compassion and the happiness which arise from awareness. Any question, please? No?
I'll ask a question.
Yes.
Well, I missed 2 weeks, so I went camping in Mount Rainier. I was real high up in the beautiful mountains. And then I was under a house last week. It was extremely dirty and filthy, trying to fix a plumbing problem. Anyway, so did you say that during those 2 weeks the group had a consensus, more or less, that there was no reality or something like that?
Oh, I will chit chat with Christy about reality. There wasn't actually. You look into the molecular of present moment. There is no reality at all because of the movement. They keep moving. They cannot stop. If you can feel the current, and it is, then you say, oh, this is reality. But actually, when we look up into it, the small moment of the moment, they keeps changing. So where is the reality? No reality at all. It's all nothing. Only that this is the notion that I taught last week, that only that if you regress, you think back, then it might become a reality. I'm going to restate that it's an appearance of reality because of, as you regress, the process still going on. So there is no point in the Sutra. I don't know the number, but they emphasize that there is no past, there is no future, only the present moment counts. But then later on, Dhammapada Sutra. Later on, that another verse that says there's no past, there's no future, and even the present moment is not there too. So at one point we say that we take present moments as reality, but as we go deeper, we're going to see that there is no reality. It's all moving, and then you cannot grasp hold of it. And therefore, there's no reality. The only reality is that it keeps changing. We can put that into perspective. So, as we look back when we were 5 years old, 10 years old, and blah, 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 until now, until the second in which we are experiencing right now, they keep going, changing, moving forward. So there is no reality. It's all empty.
Well, what's wrong with change?
There's nothing wrong. It's the nature of all things changing. So when we realize that, why should we suffer for all little petty things that happen in life, So even being happy is not a state of reality. It comes, and then for a moment It has a momentum, and then it goes away. It fades away. So that would be the case. Nothing to hold back. And there's nothing to hold, even as you said that, I remember the picture of my mom. I remember that when I was young. That remembering appears now. But that now still changing. So there is no, it's completely empty. It's completely empty when we look at it. And yes.
You talked about the relationship between consciousness and awareness in the mind. Where do emotions fit into that, and how do they play into that? I mean, I think about like when a baby is born, like the earliest point of life, there's emotions there that are tied into that. Are those tied, do you think, to consciousness itself, or more towards our experience and awareness?
We go back to the waves and the water. Emotion is wave. The body is wave. And the mind is wave, because the mind changes all the time. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're angry, sometimes we're in love, sometimes we're compassionate. All of those are moving part within the unmoving. And consciousness is the unmoving. Consciousness is a whole in which arise the mind. The mind is the activity of the consciousness, the activity of hearing, of the experience of a human being. There are only 6 senses. Within 6 senses, there is nothing else but 6 senses. Experience it for yourself. The touching, the hearing, the smelling, the tasting, the seeing. That's it. And that is the work of the mind. The experience is the work of the mind. But again, that the oneness, that we cannot separate the awareness and the mind apart. No, they all together because of the rise of the mind from the awareness. So the mind is the product of the awareness. Like to say that, so we cannot separate them. As a conscious being functioning right now, the mind that functions, the mind that runs all the 6 senses, the mind that commands that I raise my hand, because of the intention of raising the hand, intention of listening, intention of seeing, that intention is the mind. And sometimes, when we sleep, we subside the intention. There's no intention in our sleep. Right there is the proof that mind is part of the consciousness. Right now we are aware. In sleep we are aware. Even deep sleep we are still aware.
Well, I could tell a little story, but first of all, Christy, you traveled, you went to Scandinavia, and I'm just wondering if there's anything that you experienced there, or saw, or something about your Buddhist practice or anything, maybe? Or I could just tell my little story.
Yeah, I'd have to reflect on that.
Right. Well, anyway, I did go to Mount Rainier. I assume some other people have been there. Is that right? Yeah. So I went to this one place called Narada Falls. Has anyone been there? Yeah. So to me, it was an extremely special experience, and I would wish that anybody else could go there. What do you remember about Narada Falls, Christy, if anything?
Well, I guess depending on the season, it's big, right?
It's very big. Yeah. Anyway, the waterfall is extremely big and powerful. There's a huge amount of water coming down. And when you get down to the bottom of it, the water is all coming up in a mist, and it just depends upon the time of year and how much water, but it's extremely powerful. It's hitting you in the face and just stinging you very sharply. And so you really can't think about anything else. You're not going to have a monkey mind, because all you can do is experience this extremely powerful wildness and freshness and coldness, and it's kind of painful, but it's also very, very alive. And then what you see there, and maybe you saw it, but there's this rainbow there when you're on this viewing platform. Did you see that or not, Christy?
Not there.
All right. A lot of people didn't go all the way down. You have to go all the way down to this viewing platform. And most people don't go down there because it's too much mist coming up and they're afraid of getting wet. But you have to go down there to experience, or you might as well not even go. And there's this incredible rainbow. I've seen a lot of rainbows in my life, but there was nothing like this. It was just out of this world. It's a permanent rainbow from all that mist coming up and the sun being behind you. And the rainbow is just huge. It's just so big. And then the mist is all moving around. And so the rainbow is shimmering. And it's just totally unlike anything you've ever seen. And I would highly recommend it to anybody.
I would highly recommend it. If we look into the nature of that cascade, all the activities of that water, all the activity of that cascades are nothing else than water.
Water, right.
Yes. And then the rainbow. And remember, I think that the rainbow is nothing else than an appearance of conditions. Is that right?
Exactly. The rainbow's always there, but nobody would see it. You have to be just in the right spot. If you move a little to the side, you totally don't see it.
The mist,
Yeah, the mist.
and the sun,
sun.
and the light
Right,
that create rainbows.
right.
So rainbow nothing does its own conditioning for an appearance. And I remember the mirage. A beautiful phrase of mirage is that a million rain of mirage cannot wet a single grain of sand in the desert. It's really beautiful. Yeah, so illusion originally is illusion. The intrinsic nature of illusion is elusive. So we go back to the mind, that we can say that the mind is elusive because of the nature of changing of the mind. So whatever it appears to the consciousness, whatever that you experience mentally, it is elusive. So don't hang on to that illusion. Don't hang on to the rain of mirage. Don't hang on to the rainbow due to the condition. So, any more questions?
It's just, I agree with what you're saying. When you go to a place like that, you really see that nothing's permanent. You really see it very, very powerfully. And that, 100,000 years ago, that waterfall wasn't there. There was no rainbow. And there are other things in the park. There was this huge ridge. So there's this one place called Trail of the Giants. It's very close to Longmire. I don't know if you went there or not. And there's this enormous kind of ridge, kind of mountain type thing. And what it was a huge volcanic flow that came down between two glaciers. And so it kind of sandwiched in between the two glaciers like 200,000 years ago or something. And,
So we're nothing compared to that 200,000 years, right?
right.
How many birds have we for that 200,000 years? quite a few. So, anything else for? May we attain the water within you. May we attain the discernment between water and waves. In that attainment, we are oneness because of water and wave are one. From there, we can be happy. From there, we can be compassionate to others. Thank you.